What's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction video, man, and we back with the 10 most crazy animals that people actually own. And then they wonder when the animals turn on them or when animals attack, and you be having a little deer coming at you and stuff like that. They be like, but why? It's because you're not supposed to have them. Jeez. And then we're going to check out the 10 pets you should never release into the wild. So I feel like these two are going to be very interesting and intriguing videos, man. So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, man. We go from talking about animals to the police officers. You never know what you're going to catch on this channel, man. And that speaks to who I am, bro. Like, I'm everywhere with it. I'm everywhere with it, all right? So if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Let's go. Here we go.
Some animals are good at keeping us company and some others are better left alone. But where do you draw the line? How do you know it's okay to have some animals at home while it's better to keep others at a distance? Is it our natural instinct, or is it something else entirely? I mean, I definitely like to avoid bringing any kind of tigers home or lions because I know they could eat me. But then again, you also see reports of dogs biting and attacking humans, and yet they're called man's best friend. So where is the boundary? Well, it seems like there's an obvious limit between domesticated and wild animals. Some people don't see any boundaries. Today we're going to be looking at 10 of the most crazy animals people actually own. You'll be surprised to see how people have adopted animals that you never thought could live with a human. Make sure you stay tuned to find out my best pick, as I'll introduce you to a very crazy animal that behaves just like a dog. But you probably would have never thought that prior to watching this video. Number 10. Tamanduas. Coming all the way from South
I don't even know what that is.
America, the tamanduas have become quite popular among people who like to own exotic pets. Surely enough, adopting one can cost you anything between $3,000 to $8,000 US. Also, it might be illegal in some places, so you might want to check that out before getting too excited. These anteaters love their insects, but they'll also be happy with any beef, soft fruits, and eggs that you feed them. They don't have any teeth, but they do have very long claws that allow them to process their food. They also adore cuddles and enjoy the outdoors. You just need to set up a nice obstacle course and a little nest for them to be happy and
Bro, imagine seeing that, like, rear its head above your bed in the middle of the night, fam. Like, I would literally piss on myself, man. If that thing just crawled up or stuck its head out from under the sheets in the middle of the night, your eyes half open, you got, man, bro. No, I don't look cute, cuddly.
busy during the day. That actually sounds like a pretty reasonable pet to me. Number 9. Capybaras. And here's another cute pet that comes from Central and South America, the capybaras. This mammal, which is considered the largest rodent in the world, has become a very popular exotic pet. But don't let its cuteness fool you. They are very tricky pets and they require a lot of attention. Given the fact that they are naturally very social animals, they should have at least one other capybara living with them so they can be happy. Otherwise, their quality of life will be compromised and you better get a swimming pool if you don't have one. Because capybaras are semi-aquatic, and they'll likely go for a swim sooner or later. I mean, you don't want to see a sad capybara, right? They need their water to stay happy. Like I mentioned earlier, they're the largest rodent alive today, so expect them to be a bit taller than 50.
When I was 30, my mom gave me an odd-looking bracelet and told me that it was for good luck. Since then, my life is
centimeters, and they will weigh around 30 kilos. So you're gonna need a huge space if you want to enclose them. It actually sounds like a ton of work, but what you gonna do? Number 8.
No.
Sugar gliders. And here is yet another exotic pet. This one comes all the way from Australia and New Guinea. I'm talking about the sugar gliders. These marsupials also require a ton of care. Just like you need water for the capybaras, you need a lot of space for the sugar gliders to, well, what else? Fly. Or glide in this case. Yes, that's right. These animals like to stretch out their arms to the side and glide through the air. There's a reason why they're called sugar gliders, and these animals are also social to an extreme. So if you ever decide to adopt one, you'll actually need to take out 2. If you don't, the sugar gliders will become grumpy, which will make them hard to adapt to a domesticated lifestyle.
They can't be alone, man. They always got to be some of us people like that, man. We always got to be with somebody in a relationship or something, or else we angry, man. The same go for this animal, man. He can't be alone.
This could lead to them chewing and nipping on things. Since it is an exotic animal, it is illegal to own one in some places. And still, even if it is legal, they might require special permits to prove to your government that you didn't acquire one illegally. That just sounds like a ton of obstacles just to get these cute little animals, but some people are eager to go through all that just so they can bring a pair of sugar gliders into their happy home. Number 7. Alpacas. Alright, the next animal is not necessarily exotic in the same way other animals are, and it has become quite popular in media and memes over the last couple of years, but still, it's not an animal you'd expect to see in people's home as often as others. Yes, it's the alpaca. These interesting animals are from South America, and they have been good company to humans for centuries. They can grow to weigh between 45 to 90 kilos, which makes them quite heavy, and they need a lot of open space and a companion for a healthy development. They are very passive animals, which makes it easy for humans to train. They're known for helping people to transport their belongings, and they have a grass-based diet, which does make it easy for their owners to find food for them.
I think that's the animal that they be making like the rugs out of. That's crazy. Who was the big time? I think it was Denzel Washington in, I want to say, was it not American Hustle? Which one was it? Where he was playing the gangster, American Gangster, and he said that's alpaca. Now I see what alpaca is.
They are slowly becoming popular pets out of their native South American homes, and people are enjoying their company. These ones would actually be easier for you to get because they are a little less illegal than the other animals on here. Number 6. Cormorants. The world of birds is a very impressive and diverse one, and I know a lot of you probably own or have owned a bird in your life, even if it was just a small parrot or a canary. But one of the most
Rest in peace to my parrot. Rest in peace to my parrot.
impressive birds that people have been...
What's the best kept secret to becoming a great singer? I'm going to answer that question in 30 seconds. Let's start that clock. Hi, if you don't know who I am, my name's Aaron Anastasi. I'm the
been able to domesticate is the cormorant. There are even stories of French painter Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec who had a cormorant. They would sit and have an absinthe together, which I actually think is very interesting. I'm curious how that went, actually. I never thought about sharing a drink with my dog, let alone a bird, and I don't think that's actually legal, technically. However, this story reflects on how these birds have been company to humans throughout history. In Asia, they've been trained for a long time to be able to catch fish. And in Japan, these birds are known to stay with their adoptive family throughout their lifetime. These birds are loyal and hardworking, and that's why many people decided to adopt them. Number 5.
We humans are sucker for loyalty. We're a sucker for loyalty, man. So if he has those endearing qualities that we love, we'll take them.
Genets. Or Genets. Yeah, not really.
Do you see his eyes? Or she? Do you see the eyes? Nah, fam. No.
Sure, I've announced that one. Would you ever adopt a pet with patterns on its skin similar to those of a wild cat? I would be a bit skeptical, but some people have found the Genets to be great animals to keep at home. While their skin looks like one of those of a threatening animal, the Genet is related to the mongoose. They can weigh between 1 to around 3 kilos, and they can be as long as 55 centimeters in length, not counting their tail. An interesting fact is that having Genets as a pet is nothing new. They've been kept in people's homes since the Middle Ages. Their main purpose was to help humans get rid of rodents, and now they're an exotic pet, but not the kind of pet that likes to snuggle. However, it has been proven that Genets can be trained to be on a leash, and they can even use a litter box, which makes it more convenient for people to adopt them. But keep in mind, Genets are wild animals, so they still require some free time to explore the outdoors and play. That's what keeps them healthy after all. Number 4. Axolotl. What in the world is this animal? And who thought about adopting it as a pet? Well, this is the axolotl, a type of salamander from Mexico that is also known as the Mexican walking fish. I guess that nickname suits it well, just look at those little arms that pop out of its body. I'd say it's kinda cute, but also a bit uncommon. And yet,
Right.
people find ways to bring these animals into their homes. The axolotl is an amphibian, but unlike other animals in the group, this Mexican walking fish is known to stay in the water for its whole life. For that reason, it's asked that people who adopt them take good care of the water tanks. The axolotls need water that has been properly filtered at the right temperature. And also, in case you're considering getting one, the axolotls are the kind of pet that is good for you to watch, but you should not handle it. I mean, I know fish and other animals that require water tanks are not your go-to pet when it comes to cuddles and caring, but it's strongly advised that you keep your hands off from the axolotls. Their skin is very sensitive, which is also part of the reason why they're an endangered species. It seems like the people who adopted them are helping them survive extinction, hoping they can save the species. Number 3. Fennec foxes.
No.
Don't you think having a fox is non-mainstream? They're becoming more popular now.
Yo, they gave that fox some Mountain Dew, man. He is like on 20.
Actually, but have you heard about fennecs? Now that there is a crazy animal that not many have been able to adopt. The fennecs are the smallest foxes in the world, but they're harder to pet compared to other kinds of foxes. People who do adopt them need to train them at a very young age so that they can be friendly, and yet still it is likely that they will bite if they feel threatened. Their native habitat is in the deserts of the northern side of Africa, so you can expect a lot of outdoor play that includes running, digging, and even climbing. And again, because they're from the desert, they will always be attached to warm temperatures and a decent amount of time under the sun. Yes, it does sound like a lot of work, but aren't they just adorable?
No, man. He look like the way he moving around is like he on something.
I can see why people would go through all the effort to keep one of these foxes at their home. Still, I wouldn't like to be around if they're ready to bite. Their teeth are so sharp that even a single play bite can really hurt and also open up a wound. Now it's time for the day's best pick.
No.
The picture I'm showing you today is of a man and a hyena. That's hard to believe, actually. Yes, we've talked about it before, and
Yeah, I'm not believing that picture. That looked Photoshop.
today I have another interesting story about people who own these crazy animals. Number 2. Hyenas. In case you haven't watched my other videos, I want to bring back a story about a man named Kevin Richardson who got along so well with the hyenas, and that is just shocking in its own right. If you have watched The Lion King or documentaries about animals, you'll know that hyenas are not the friendliest of animals, despite the fact that they laugh a lot. And yet, Kevin managed to become part of their family after 15 years of interacting with them. Kevin's story is pretty cool, but it's actually not the only case of a human being able to get along so well with this wild animal. In Nigeria, there is a group of nomads that were able to domesticate and take control over some of these animals. They keep them chained and muzzled, and they say that the animals enjoy it. They even claim that the hyenas hug their tamers and even sit on command just like dogs do. And I don't know what can be crazier than a hyena, and I don't know what kind of crazy stuff they had to do to domesticate them. But either way, that's just impressive.
I see the
And then just when you let your guard down and you at the most comfortable is when they strike and they get you and you be like, oh, I thought we were family. Nah, fam. Been sizing you up for years.
best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds.
Python. And at the very top of the list, I have another wild pet that might surprise a lot of you. The Burmese Python. I know having snakes as pets is not uncommon or considered exotic anymore. I mean, there are plenty of people out there who I'm sure have more than just one snake in their house. For many reasons, people have found them to be fun and interesting pets to keep near them. But no pet snake compares with a Burmese python. This Southeast Asian reptile can be very dangerous. People who are brave enough to own one need to keep them inside a strong cage at the right temperature, along with its prey and even a water bath in case a snake wants to go for a quick dip inside that nice, cool water. Sure, they are docile for most of the time, but once they're hungry, they will even try to constrict their owners if they come near them. Also, this snake can reach a length of 7 meters, which is more than 3 times the size of a human. If none of this information has any effect on you, then you might be the perfect candidate to adopt one of these.
Nope. Not interested. Don't even try to sell me on it. Tell me I can get it for the low price of whatever, 95, 3 easy installments. I don't want to hear none of that, fam.
Owning a pet can be quite fun and very fulfilling. The thing is, it's also a very huge responsibility. Sometimes so much so that some pet owners have resorted to letting their pets go and releasing them into the wild. Aside from it being highly illegal, especially in the US, there are another million reasons why you shouldn't release pets in the wild. On that note, here's an example of some pets you should never ever think of releasing in the wild. Number 1 is a very big no-brainer, but please do stay tuned for that. With all that said and done, let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Snakes. Okay, first off, if you've ever kept a snake as a pet, at least venomous for the most part, you're pretty insane. Snakes are some of the most dangerous creatures on Earth. They can put a hurt on you unlike any other in so many different ways. So many that I'm not going to enumerate it to you guys one by one. It should honestly be pretty self-explanatory. Now, just as a reference though, I'm mainly talking about big snakes, and again, venomous snakes. Tiny little garden snakes and some small pythons, they're perfectly fine. But the large ones, no. In any case, these animals, which are already dangerous in captivity, can potentially wreak even more havoc if you release them in the wild, especially in areas where they aren't endemic. Snakes by design aren't very picky eaters. They prey on small animals or any animal small enough to fit into their mouths. Releasing one into a non-native habitat would likely mean you had to kill some smaller native species in that place. A geological survey in Everglades found out that a number of pythons released in that area has killed over 99% of the population of smaller animals. So instead of releasing it to the nature, you should get a new owner for your pet snake once you cannot handle it.
Dang!
Number 9. Hermit.
That's kind of like he going just to establish dominance. So you gotta kill in order to establish dominance. Let them know you ain't playing out here in this wilderness.
Hermit crabs. Hermit crabs are quickly becoming starter pets for those who have the taste for the exotic. However, these tiny guys are, and I'm sorry for saying this, completely boring. So non-enthusiast pet owners often find themselves trying to get rid of it, by any means necessary. And by that I mean by releasing it into the wild. But there are 2 reasons why you shouldn't release these tiny crustaceans into the wild. 1, these guys can carry certain bacteria from your tank into the wild, potentially destroying entire ecosystems. Although hermit crabs are usually caught in the wild before they end up in pet store shelves, as soon as it lives in any place other than its natural habitat, it can acquire certain bacteria and pathogens that, while not harmful to the hermit crab itself, can wreak some havoc on some wild populations of other species. And number 2, did you know that not all hermit crabs are the same? There is quite literally dozens upon dozens of this tiny species all around, and if you release one species in an area that is populated by a different species, then all hell breaks loose. You are introducing a non-endemic species into an ecosystem. History has shown us that that is never a good thing. If you find yourself trying to get rid of your pet hermit crab, don't worry. There are actually people who rescue these tiny critters, and you're better off just by giving it to them. Number 8. Snails.
Crab legs, anybody? You? Anybody? Crab legs? They too small though. I need that king crab leg in my life.
Specifically speaking, the giant African land snail, which is again fast becoming a very popular pet for the exotic-minded. But then again, like the hermit crab, people quickly get bored of them and try to get rid of them. But please, whatever you do, never ever release them into the wild. This animal is actually illegal in the United States because of its destructive power. To add to that, they breed very fast. In fact, the entire giant African land snail population in the United States can be tracked back to 1966 when a young boy brought 3 to Miami. His grandmother released them into their garden when they couldn't handle to take care of the snails. 7 years after the release of the snails, the population boomed to over 18,000 and caused so much damage to the environment that the state of Florida had to spend over $1 million to get rid of the snails, a job that took them 10 years to complete. Number 7. The green iguana. This animal is taken as pets for many exotic animal lovers, mainly because they're pretty low maintenance and very easy to take care of. Well, while they're young and small. The problem begins when they get much, much bigger. So some owners got the idea to just release it back to nature where they thought it belonged. What could go wrong? If you haven't caught on to the trend by now, releasing a non-native species to the wild will cause trouble to the environment. And this truth also applies to the green iguana. In California, Florida, and Hawaii, a number of released green iguanas have started a colony. The colony has been known to compete for food with and even prey on native species. Going out of control, the state of Hawaii has begun to ban this animal to protect native species in their forests. So for you green iguana owners, if you get tired of it or simply can't take care of it anymore, please just find a new parent for it. Please don't make Hawaii beg.
Bro, I never knew it was this serious. Because if I'd have had an exotic pet, I'd have just opened the back door and be like, yo, you can go. My man, my man, you can go. You've overstayed your welcome. I didn't know you had to know and what could happen and the ramifications and all this type of stuff. It's crazy.
Number 6. The cane toad.
What?
If you think about it, the toad seems to be the least likely animal to become a very dangerous invasive species. Maybe that's the reason why they're popular as pets. But the fact of the matter is, they have proven to be very dangerous indeed. This is especially true when introduced into an area where they aren't endemic. As, you know, per usual. In Hawaii, the Caribbean, and the Philippines, a certain species of toad was taken in as pets and was released into sugarcane plantations to help control pests that keep plaguing the fields. The cane toad, as it was known, was so efficient in controlling the pest population that it was soon being exported to plantations all over the world. Unfortunately though, cane toads have a nasty habit of not just eating crop pests and insects, but also just about any terrestrial animal that they can fit their grotesquely huge mouths around, which is saying something, given that they can actually grow to over 30 centimeters in length. They also secrete toxins capable of killing just about any animal they come in contact with. This means they can be seriously lacking in the natural predator department and quickly overrun a very large area.
Can I help you?
Hi, do all these sleep things really help?
I actually have that one. You should try it.
Yeah. Number 5. Red-eared sliders. Beginning in the 1900s, red-eared sliders were captured in the wild for sale in markets and dime stores. Its small size and cheap price made it a very popular pet. And by the 1950s, millions of these turtles were being farmed and shipped abroad as part of...
Blame the Ninja Turtles. They made you want a turtle back in the day. Before I ever knew what a snapping turtle was, I wanted a turtle. I would stop on the side of the road, see one, try to grab it. Then I learned what a snapping turtle is. Completely ruined it for me. I never wanted a turtle ever again after that. And then I think I heard it snap somebody's finger or grab somebody's finger or something. I was done after that.
The pet trade. Its novel size and increased popularity following the release of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics led many to purchase the turtles for their home aquariums.
See?
Unfortunately, some owners released the animals when they became too large or too much of a hassle, allowing them to expand into non-native territory.
See? Told you, Ninja Turtles.
This practice is often viewed as a humane option over euthanasia. They remain the most popular aquatic turtle species for home aquarists. Red-eared sliders are well poised to be effective invaders. They reach sexual maturity at a young age and also have a very high fecundity. Red-eared sliders compete with native turtle species for food, habitat, and other resources. These turtles can get quite large and are notoriously aggressive, and can bully native turtles out of basking sites. That may sound a little strange, but these are actually critical resources for these reptiles. Reduced access to these sites can slow growth and increase mortality of native turtles. In fact, these tiny turtles are currently a problem in New York City, threatening the existence of the native spotted turtles, musk turtles, map turtles, bog turtles, wood turtles, and painted turtles. Number 4. The red lionfish. This fish has been a sought-after pet for aquarium enthusiasts, but was thrust into common consciousness by that bad Rob Schneider movie. If you haven't seen it, oh, good for you. In any case, the red lionfish is hard to keep as a pet. If you have a lionfish and are thinking of releasing it into the wild, please stop and find another way to get it off your hands. 6 red lionfish were
That looked like something that came straight out of New Orleans during Mardi Gras. Like, that looks exactly what that looks like to me.
Accidentally released into Florida waters in 1992, and since then the population of smaller fish has started to decrease. That is because the red lionfish is a carnivore, and a very adept hunter at that. In the warm coastal waters of Florida, they have plenty of food and no natural predators. This allows them to increase in numbers and in turn decimate the local fish population for lunch. Native reef fish take an average of 3 to 4 years to reach reproductive maturity, while lionfish take about 6 months. One female spawns about 2 million eggs per year, and the fish are known to eat up to 30 times their own stomach volume. Lionfish are reproducing at an alarming rate, and they are eating the other fish before they are even able to reproduce. I don't think I really need to say how bad that is, actually.
What's the best kept secret to becoming a great singer? I'm going to answer that question in 30 seconds. Let's start that clock. Hi, if you don't know who I am, my name's Aaron Anastasiou.
Number 3. Chameleons. Although they won't be winning any beauty contests anytime soon, some people consider chameleons as awesome pets, and with good reason.
They see me rolling, they hate and... My bad. It was too easy.
This animal's camouflage ability is legendary, and people seem to think that it's pretty cool to have a pet that has a John Cena power. You don't get it because you can't see him? The thing is, chameleons weren't supposed to be in our neck of the woods at all. They're native to the old world, specifically Africa, Madagascar, Southern Europe, and Southern Asia. And like with all non-endemic species released into the wild, in this case, Florida again, their impact is hugely destructive. There are currently 2 species of chameleon that are claiming Florida to be their home, the Axolotl and veiled chameleons. Axolotl and veiled chameleons are predators that eat insects, small frogs, and lizards, and occasionally small mammals and birds. A study of Axolotl chameleons in a Florida agricultural grove found that they ate mostly agricultural pests and non-native reptiles and amphibians.
Look at them eyes, fam. You see they eyes, bro?
However, as chameleons become established in natural areas, they may eat more native species. Veiled chameleons in Hawaii have been found to threaten native birds, insects, and plants. To make matters even worse, both veiled and Axolotl chameleons have very high reproductive rates and can tolerate a range of environmental conditions. Now it's time for the day's best pick. Today's photo shows quite possibly the largest goldfish you've ever seen. Woo! But is this photo a hoax? Stay tuned to find out.
Y'all throwing that back or nah? Eat for a week or you throwing it back? What we doing? If you could get away with it. You throwing it back or you keeping it?
Number 2. Goldfish. Have you ever heard of the urban legend about giant mutant goldfish swimming around sewer systems?
No.
Legend has it that they were formerly pets who were accidentally, but more likely, intentionally flushed down toilets. However unlikely this story might sound, there is actually a lot of truth into it. Not the sewer part, but apparently discarded goldfish can grow to gigantic proportions. The photo you're seeing here is surprisingly legitimate, and is of a gigantic goldfish caught in Lake Tahoe. These fish were formerly aquarium fish that were accidentally or intentionally released into the alpine waters of Lake Tahoe. These fish seem to have found the conditions very favorable for them, and have grown to great sizes, and as was recently discovered, have started to breed. Invasive species can harm native fish by destroying their habitat, preying on them directly, or interfering with their food source. In the case of the giant goldfish, researchers believe they may actually be harming Lake Clarity by fueling algae growth with their waste. Forest Service biologists have surveyed streams in the Lake Tahoe Basin since 2007, looking at numbers of native fish versus invasive species. They found the non-native species such as a brook trout, rainbow trout, bluegill, and brown bullhead only accounted to half of the fish surveyed.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete.
Number 1. Rabbits. Rabbits don't only make excellent pets, they have other uses as well.
And don't leave your rabbit outside in the cage, because you'll come out there and it'll be gone or dead. I seen that happen to somebody.
Rabbit meat is a staple food in some countries, and hunting rabbits in these areas are actually a year-round thing. The big problem is when you introduce a rabbit into an area where it has no natural predators, couple that with their amazing rate of reproduction, well, let's just say the outcome is going to be worse than when a gremlin went swimming. In 1859, 24 rabbits were released to nature for the sake of hunting in Australia. Of the 24 rabbits that were hunted, some of them survived and reproduced. By 1920, there were an estimated 10 billion rabbits in the country. Woo! Do you have a pet that you want to release back in the wild? Let us know in the comment section below. Want to watch more videos about amazing animals?
That's crazy. That many rabbits? I didn't know that it was that possible, man. But he was talking about gremlins. That made me laugh. Remember the Gremlins movie, man? Don't feed it after, what, 12? And don't let it get wet. Oh, that was classic, man. Go back and watch it. Instant classic, all right? It's your boy L, man. Y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know if y'all learned something today, because I truly did about a lot of this stuff. It's your boy L. To the next reaction. I'm out. Peace. Y'all stay solid. Hey.